One of the gentlemen, named Bob Healy, came to our conference with a quasi-functional prototype. He had terminal cancer, and Bob came to me and said, "Help me."
Entrepreneur Clay Clark has built several multi-million-dollar businesses. Now, he helps budding entrepreneurs like Bob turbocharge their ideas with a 14-step plan.
And grillblazer.com is now a massively successful company that's becoming a household name in many American homes.
In this episode, we dive into how to rebuild American small businesses and industrial capacity.
You never want to outsource your core competency. We have to import certain technology from countries that hate us to make military weapons to defend us. That doesn't even make sense.
This is American Thought Leaders, and I'm Yanya Kellick.
Let me introduce you to the grill gun.
Oh! I would have greened that anyway. I need that. Yeah. That is sweet.
You want full power?
As you guys remember, I have a good buddy named Ty, and he introduced the grill gun a few episodes ago.
To the grill gun.
Oh!
My name is Kevin Thomas, and the name of our company is MultiClean. We are a commercial janitorial service, and we serve the entire state of Oklahoma and Kansas and soon to be Arkansas. We have probably grown probably 5 times. We've added, I think when we first started with you, we had 60 to 65 employees. And now we have a little over 300 employees. Before we got involved with Thrivetime, we didn't really have any systems or processes in place. I've probably been to, in 6-7 years, I've probably been to 12 to 13 business conferences. And amazingly, each time I go, I learn something new. And I'm so excited to bring it back and show the team about marketing and how to implement how to help you guys implement the SEO, and the coaching is just great because there's accountability, and it's just a fantastic way to grow your company. Having a relationship with Thrivetime it's just been amazing for MultiClean.
To be coached hard means you have to be willing to be uncomfortable.
Some shows don't need a celebrity narrator to introduce the show, but this show does. In a world filled with endless opportunities, why would 2 men who have built 13 multi-million-dollar businesses altruistically invest 5 hours per day to teach you the best practice business systems and moves that you can use? Because they believe in you, and they have a lot of time on their hands. They started from the bottom, now they're here. It's the Thrivetime Show, starring the former U.S. Small Business Administration's Entrepreneur of the Year, Clay Clark, and the entrepreneur trapped inside an optometrist's body, Dr. Robert Zillner. 2 men, 8 kids, co-created by 2 different women, 13 multi-million-dollar businesses.
We started from the bottom, now we're here. We started from the bottom, and we'll show you how to get here. Started from the bottom, now we're here. We started from the bottom, now we're here.
Started from the bottom, and now we're at the top, teaching you the systems to get what we got. Colton Dixon's on the hooks, I break down the books. The seeds bringing some wisdom and the good looks. As the father of 5, that's why I'm alive. So if you see my wife and kids, please tell them hi. It's the CNC up on your radio, and now 3, 2, 1, here we go.
We started from the bottom, now we're here. We started from the bottom, and we'll show you how to get here. Started from the bottom, now we're here. Started from the bottom, now we're here. Started from the bottom, now we're here.
Yes, and yes. Thrive Nation, we're having yet another conversation about how to grow a successful company. And specifically, we're focusing in on how to build a cleaning business. But this could be how to build a pool cleaning business, a home cleaning business. This could be how to grow a janitorial service. This could be how to grow a home building company. This could be how to grow a dentistry. Don't get too focused on the idea of the cleaning industry. It could be any industry, but I want to walk you through the specific steps that you need to take to start and grow a successful company. And if you're watching today's show and you already have a business, these are the steps you need to have in place. So step number 1, you want to have a workflow in place, You want to have a workflow. Now, for anybody out there that doesn't have a copy of my book, you can go to thrivetimeshow.com/free resources, and you can download my book for free, How to Build a Successful Business. That's thrivetimeshow.com/free-resources. That's how to build a successful business. But when you go there, you can download the book. You can open up to page 5 and 6 and follow along there. Again, that's thrivetimeshow.com/free-resources. But Rihanna, if you're making let's say a food product, why do you want to have a recipe? If you're building a house, why do you want to have a blueprint? If you're building a car, why do you want a blueprint? If you're theoretically attempting to go to space, if you do believe we can go to space, why do you want to have some sort of blueprint for the rockets? Or why not just wing it and see what happens?
Yeah, because whenever you're getting started out, you want to test out different methods to find what works. And once you find what works, you want to stick to it and provide the same great results every time.
If we didn't have like a handbook, let's say at Elephant in the Room, the haircut chain where you help manage and onboard employees, what would happen if there wasn't a handbook to refer back to when, what would happen if there was no standard in writing?
Yeah, basically everyone in the Elephant in the Room would do just whatever they want. There wouldn't be a standard for them to stick to and to strive for.
Robert, what are your thoughts? Why does every business owner, why do they need to have a workflow, which by the way is a linear from left to right? I'll pull up an example on the screen in just a second, but it's a workflow. It's a diagram from left to right, a linear path of from A to B. Why does every business owner need to have one? And why does no business by default have one?
It's a step-by-step process to ensure that they hit all their goals and they're staying on track each step of the way.
So Greg, who's doing some remodeling for us, I'm having him do a remodel in time for the conference. He's adding more seats. Why, Robert, did I give him a sketch of what I want?
So he'll have an understanding of what you want. So he'll be able to build what you want exactly how you want it without having to take liberties on his own.
And the reason why I'm obsessing on this is why, Macy, don't business owners, and if I were to sit down with 100 business owners and ask them, show me your workflow or your business plan or your diagram or your nomenclature or your system, your processes, why is it that 99% of business owners do not have one in place?
That's a great question.
What do you think?
I don't know. Maybe they just don't see it as important and they need to bring it up on their list of priorities, or
because not because these people hate themselves. You know, I think most people don't know to have one. So if you're watching today's show and you say, I'm trying to build a business, what do I need? Step one, get a workflow. Now, if you're opening my book to page 5 or 6, you'll see an example of it. And for anybody watching online, you can see it. This is going to take you about 2 hours to do this. And it should be very detailed. And it should be walking you through. And it needs to be on one sheet of paper. Why does it have to be on one sheet of paper? Robert, why can't I give somebody a book and say, hey, here's an 85-page business plan, go follow it?
Because that would be extremely confusing. And when it's all concise on one page, they'll know exactly where to reference it.
Steve Jobs once said, this is the guy who started the modern smartphone, the modern computer, modern animated movies, iPad, personal computing. Steve Jobs, sort of a big deal. He said that simplicity scales and complexity fails. I repeat it again. Rihanna, simplicity scales, complexity fails. Why do people by default, the business owners that do have a workflow, of that 1% that does have a workflow, it's always the most complicated thing I've ever seen. And it's filled with abbreviations, like MP3, DVD, and no one knows what they mean. Like nobody knows what the abbreviations are. Like what does the abbreviation for MP3 mean? No one knows. So why is it that the business owners that do have a workflow, nobody has any idea what it means?
Because they think just making it more complex, the more detail that there is in it, the better it is, when really it just gets more confusing.
Okay. So like driving, I'm teaching my kids to drive right now. I got twins that are 15 years old and I'm constantly talking about smog. Okay. Signal. What? Signal. Mirror. Over the shoulder. Right? Go. Signal. Mirror. Over the shoulder. Go. What? It's like, right? Signal. Mirror. Over. It's like a cult. Signal. Mirror. Over the shoulder. Go. And why am I making it super simple and repeating it obsessively? Why am I doing this?
Yeah, because it's going to take the average person more than once of hearing something to actually fully understand it. And if
Right.
you use fewer words like over the shoulder, mirror, then it's less words for them to compute in their brain and it's easier to understand.
Now, let's talk about neural pathways for a second. A lighthearted conversation about neural pathways. Someone says, I don't know what that is. That's fine. Most people eat with like your right hand or your left hand. Okay. So if you wanted to just make yourself crazy tonight, eat with your other hand. Just have fun with that. Just go for it. Just give it a whirl. See what happens. Kobe Bryant, very successful basketball player. Obviously, Kobe Bryant, 5 NBA championships. He was famous for practicing with his offhand in practice. So even though so in practice, he would shoot with his non-dominant hand just to get good at it because he wanted to get kind of ambidextrous. He wanted to be able to score from all different ways. Most people don't do it that way, but a neural pathway is established where you consistently do something over and over to the point that it creates a path. So it's a path. It's like, this is how we do it. This is the path. If you walk over a field on the same, if you walk the same way through a field or through the forest over and over and over, eventually it makes a path. So you want to make a neural pathway or a pattern or a habit for your company so success is habitual. Because if not, it's going to not be successful. Now, somebody out there needs to write this down. I'm going to pull it up on the screen so people can see this who are watching right now. According to usdebtclock.org, which, by the way, is a great website to go to if you want to get depressed, usdebtclock.org. If you're saying, I'm having a great day, how do I get depressed? Go to usdebtclock.org. It's a great way to just get depressed. But right now, the usdebtclock.org reports that in America today, we have roughly 341 million Americans. So you say, how many do we have? 341 million Americans. How many? We have 341 million Americans. Number of Americans. Okay, so everybody think about that number. Number of Americans right now. How many? A population of 347 million. Okay, is the most recent update. 347 million. Now, as far as the number of self-employed people, we are now down to almost exactly 9 million self-employed people, which means that less than 2.5% of our population is self-employed. Okay. So, we all follow it. So, Robert, not trying to break your head, but if there's 347 million people in our country that live here that we know about, if 10% of them were self-employed, somebody fire out the number. If 10% were self-employed, if we had 10% of our population that was self-employed, and there are 347 million Americans, we would have a total of 34 million self-employed people, right? But it's not 34 million. It's 9 million. So we're talking about it's like 2% of our population is self-employed. Are we on the same page? And according to Inc. magazine, 96% of businesses fail. Inc. magazine. So if only 4% of 2% make it, what does that mean? That means 1 out of 1,000 people makes it. That is not a good number. Could you imagine, Rihanna? Imagine when you went to high school, did you have like a graduation event that you went to?
Yep.
Cap, gown, the whole thing?
Yep.
Was it good? Was it long? Was it short? Was it memorable?
It was very short. We graduated with 38 people. So very, very short. Yep.
Did you bring in who was your keynote speaker? Do you remember?
Ooh, I do not. Nope.
Was that good?
Yeah, it was really captivating.
Okay, no problem. So but the idea is, imagine that you graduate from high school, right? And the keynote speaker gets up and says, "Robert, class of 2025, I've got good news for you and the other 1,000 of you here, class of Broken Arrow, class of Union, or whatever, big school. Statistically, one of you will be successful." Woo! Ric Flair. It would be depressing. But that's what happens in small business. People have no idea what they're doing. They run out there, they're trying to do their best. I get it. And they bomb, then they fail. So what we're teaching here is how not to fail. So step number 2, okay? We've got to know, and I'm looking at page 5 right here of the book, page 5 of the book, How to Build a Successful Business, page 5. You got to know, box number 1, you have to know your revenue goals. Most people don't know their revenue goals. They don't know their break-even numbers. They don't know their number of hours they're willing to work. They don't have a workflow. So we're going to, for sake of time, we're going to say, congratulations, you're working with one of our coaches and you now have a workflow. We're excited for you. Hopefully you're excited for you. We have a workflow. This is good stuff. So now we move on to the next step. You got to have a tracking sheet. Turns out you measure what you treasure, or you slack where you don't track. So, a very, very successful man I know, Jim Stovall. He's blind and he's a best-selling author. Crazy. I've interviewed him multiple times. Jim Stovall, he's blind, best-selling author. He's won awards for movies he's made. He reads like every week, at least a book every week. And you go, how? Well, he blocks out time to do audiobooks and he puts it in his calendar. So every week, this guy just devours books. You know, somebody out there, you're really into fitness. Well, if you work out an hour a day, every day, 6 days a week, then you maintain a certain level of fitness. Somebody out there says, I'm really into planting trees. That's cool. Okay, but you have to block out time to do it. And what happens is in business, people don't track. So if you don't track, so Robert, in the stores, I'm constantly talking to you at Elephant in the Room, our haircut chain. I'm constantly asking you, there's only 3 things I really care about, okay? All I care about is I want to make sure we're wowing our customers. I'm obsessed. By the way, for anybody watching online, my son's playing the drums, so that'll be a fun background noise. So, but why am I always asking, hey, you know, did you gather an objective review? I'm always obsessed with wowing customers and getting reviews. Why am I obsessed with this?
It's so important to ask each and every customer for a Google review.
I mean, why am I obsessed with wowing the customers?
Because you want them to have an amazing experience and they'll come back.
So just to list this week, we had a customer that got upset about something. It ruined like about an hour of my day because I was trying to figure out why did this happen and how do we stop it from happening? So I'm obsessed with wowing the customers, okay? That's number 2. I'm obsessed with gathering objective reviews. Number 3, I'm obsessed with how many first-time customers we have. But Rihanna, if I did not track those numbers, what would happen by default if we as a team did not track those numbers every week?
Then you wouldn't be able to track how many first-time members are coming in, and you're not able to track what's working to get them in, and so the business is going to make less money.
I'm being very vague and very kind on this particular part of the show, and Rihanna, we're not fishing for who this is, but we had an employee in one of our businesses, whatever company that was, who kept showing up to work without shoes.
Yep.
And I just am tallying in my journal. Well, that's interesting. And when somebody shows up to work, you know, not on time and without shoes and being crazy, why am I, Macy, tracking that in my journal? Okay, this is their name. They're not wearing shoes. And by the way, nobody else has this problem. They're not showing up on time and they're not wearing shoes. Why am I tracking that?
Just some pattern recognition. You start to see, you know, how they perform and the patterns that they choose to keep doing and how that affects their workday.
Robert, why do I have my journals? I keep these things. I've got one guy in one of our companies this is a business that does an office out of here who always has lower back problems headed into a weekend. Healthy guy, always has back problems headed into the weekend. Why am I tracking that in my journal?
Maybe in case you somehow come up with a solution for it.
Rihanna, why am I tracking this?
Because if it becomes a problem next week, you need to know when it started.
I'm just looking. If you don't track, again, you have to measure what you treasure. Hopefully, this is making sense. You have to measure what you treasure. Okay, we got it. Okay, so step number 4. Again, we're going through these initial events. If you're watching online, we're going fast, 90 miles an hour. We have to gather all your passwords. Okay, to build a successful organization, you have to be organized. And 99% of the time, casualness causes casualties. So every time I take my kids somewhere, I'm like, phone, wallet, keys. Why, Rihanna, before we go somewhere as a family, we have 7 people in my family. Before we go on a plane, there's 7 of us. Why am I always saying phone, wallet, keys? Why am I doing this?
Yeah, because you're going to have so much going on with 7 people in your family that you need to keep track of the important stuff so that way nothing can go wrong on that end.
Macy, why do you think that 99% of business owners that we work with, when we first start with them, I say, okay, we're going to need to optimize your Google Map or your Facebook or Instagram or whatever. And they go, oof, I don't have that password. Why is that?
Because they don't keep it in one spot.
Rihanna, what do you think?
I think they don't have the password because they figured they could just remember it, so they didn't write it down.
How did high school work, by the way? How does high school work? In high school, can you not have the passwords to things and graduate? Is that allowed?
Passwords to what?
I don't know. Anything.
Anything? You don't have the passwords to a lot of stuff. You have the password to your Google Chrome account, and that's it.
Robert, how is it that functional adults don't have the passwords to most things most of the time?
They don't realize how important it is to their daily lives. I wouldn't want to spend 30 minutes searching for a password when I could just have them all in one place.
And again, I'm not attacking anybody watching today's show. I'm just encouraging you. Let's fix this problem. Okay, we're fixing these problems. Now, step number 4, coming in hot. You got to optimize your Google Map. Now, I'm going to show people an example on their screen. Robert, you can look on your screen. Rihanna, you can look on yours. But if we type in Joplin Gyms, okay, Joplin Gyms, one of my longtime clients, Koloff Fitness, he dominates the search results. And the question is it because he's a good guy? Is it because he's well-connected? Is it because he's spending a lot on AdWords? Is it because of a unique relationship with the Illuminati? Is it what is it? Is it okay, we type in dog training Tulsa. Okay, dog training Tulsa. Dog training Tulsa. Make your dog epic. Make your dog epic comes up top in the search results. Is it a unique connection that we have with the universe? Is it the amount of money we're spending on ads? Is it randomness, just the randomness of life? What is it, Rihanna, that allows these clients, all the clients that we work with, what allows them to be dominant in the search results?
Because they've optimized their Google Maps. So they've got the most reviews, they've got the highest rated reviews, and so they're going to pop up towards the top.
And I want you and everybody watching this show to write this down. There are 4 things that impact your rank in Google. There's like in this book, we have an entire chapter devoted to all the specific details, and we get really deep in it. There's 4 big ideas. 1, your website has to be optimized for Google compliance. We would call this canonical compliance. Another way to look at it is for 5,000 points, what does the word Tesla mean in Hebrew? Boop, 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 boop. Anybody? It means the rib pulled from Adam to make Eve. That's what Tesla means in Hebrew. I don't know if anybody knows about that or cares, but that's what it means. Okay. Interesting. Think about it for a second. The company that's trying to replace humans with Optimus robots is named after the rib pulled from Adam to make the helpmate. Interesting. So most people don't know Hebrew. So therefore, it doesn't matter. Like the things I'm saying that doesn't resonate or connect because they don't read Hebrew. Well, when you're talking to a business owner and you say your website has to be canonically compliant, that usually goes, I don't know what that means, because they're plumbers, doctors, dentists, lawyers, cleaning companies, whatever. So we as a coaching service, we have to make sure your website adheres to the Google search engine standards. And Macy, regardless of the jargon, the nomenclature, the language, why do we as a coaching service have to make sure that all of our clients have a Google compliant website?
So they can bring in more clientele.
Yes. Now, Robert, have you ever tried to go on an airplane recently without your ID or wallet just to see what happens? Have you ever tried to go to the airport and just see what happens?
No.
You're not going to get on the plane, right? I mean, so you just have to, if you want to get a product in Walmart, you have to have a serial number. If you want to write a book, you have to have an ISBN number. If you want to give birth to a child on the planet Earth right now, you got to have a social security number. These are all things. So if you don't have your website optimized, it's just a bizarre place to be. So step 1, you got to optimize your website. Step 2, you got to optimize your Google map. Someone says, You got to optimize your Google map. And so website, okay, Google map. Third is, okay, it's the most original HTML content, the most hypertext markup language content. I would argue that not 1% of our population knows these things. 4, you have to have, okay, let's recap. Your website has to be Google compliant, okay? 2, your Google map has to be optimized. You have to have the most reviews. 3, you have to have the most original content. And 4, your website has to be mobile compliant. Let's try it again. 1, your website has to be Google compliant. 2, Robert, you have to have the most reviews and the most optimized Google map. Yeah, right. 3, you have to have the most original HTML content. Yes, okay. 4, you have to have the most
mobile
compliance.
Compliancy.
And this changes all the time. Like every single month, you have to update this. So let's talk about gardening. Rihanna, what if you planted a garden on Monday, didn't check on it for a month and a half? What would happen?
It would die fast.
Why?
Because you're not checking on it every day. You're not nursing it every day. You're not doing anything to make it grow.
You got to check on these things. And so people want their website to be an event. It's not an event. It's a process. It's not an event. It's a process. It's ongoing maintenance. So for all of our clients, every single month, we optimize every single website every single month. If you're watching today's show and for some reason you're not a client, heaven help you. But the tools that you can use that would allow you to do this, but it just becomes an overwhelming task list, I find, for a lot of people. It's semrush.com, semrush, and moz.com, semrush.com, moz.com. The book I'd recommend is Search Engine for Dummies. And if you want to hire Bruce Clay, it's $8,000 a month, the author of Search Engine for Dummies. And for $8,000 a month, he too shall teach you these things. And there's a company called SEO Inc., SEO Inc. And Gary Grant is the founder of that organization. He's been on our show before. And again, Rihanna, we have wonderful people that listen to this show. Why don't people know these things? Even if they've gone to college, even if they've been self-employed for 20 years, why don't they know this?
Because they don't know about it. They don't know it's important. It's not been taught to them.
Why don't people know that syringes rhymes with oranges? Robert?
They just don't know.
I don't think people think about these things. I don't think people sit down and obsessively think what rhymes with syringe. Orange. You know what I mean? Most people just don't spend their time there. They're thinking about, Macy, why aren't, I don't know, do you know people that are sitting around going, hey, how does Google work? I mean, you used to, when you're going out for coffee or you're walking in the mountains with the man friend or whatever it is you're doing, are people sitting around going, how does Google work? Does that happen?
Nope.
What do people talk about?
I don't know. Love Island.
Is that a real thing? Is that a show?
It's a show.
Okay, what else, Rihanna? What do people talk about when they're...
They talk about other people, pop culture, social media.
Okay. Anything else, Robert?
Sports.
Sports?
Yeah.
Okay. And I'm not attacking anybody watching this show, nor am I trying to glorify myself. I'm just saying those are the things I don't think about. You know what I mean? And so I think about these things. And so if you own a business and you don't know these things, this is a problem for you. It doesn't mean you have to give up sports to learn this, but you have to learn this stuff. And as from a coaching perspective, I want to ask you, Rihanna, did you ever have a class in school where you had to have the teacher tell you the same thing like 18 times before it made sense?
Oh yeah, absolutely. College algebra, that was a class for me.
Over and over and over?
Over and over and over. Till I finally got it.
Yeah. And Macy, is there a class you had to take multiple times, or at least a subject where you had to like really hear it? Like for me, it was algebra. It was algebra. I didn't get it. Still don't get it. Still don't want to get it. I get it, but I'm like, I don't see I'm ever going to use this ever in any aspect of my daily life ever.
Yep.
Prove it. You know what I mean? Is there any subject where you were going, I just can't get it?
I was an art major, so my drawing class I had to take twice.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I had a professor one time that spent, I'm not kidding, at art school. I went to Oklahoma State University Graphic Design School for a while. And this professor would spend like almost an entire semester talking about how to shade a circle. Like he's, light hits it here. And he was like real, and the word was called like chiaroscuro or some weird word. And he was obsessed with us memorizing definitions. And the whole time I'm thinking, how am I ever going to use this? Or the periodic table. Remember that, Robert? You remember that, the periodic table?
Oh, yeah.
Californium, aluminum. What else? Jackassery. There's just so many different things that we don't use. But this is all practical stuff. This is the practical knowledge you won't get in college. And so if you own a business, you've got to learn these things. Okay. Now, once you get the passwords, we have to optimize all these. Step number 5. And so, Rihanna, we got to optimize these. So I'm going to go to the Make Your Dog Epic YouTube channel because JT Lawson's doing a great job with makeyourdogepic.com. So I do a search. I'm going to go to YouTube and I'm going to search for dog training Tulsa. I'm going to YouTube and I'm searching for dog training Tulsa. By the way, YouTube is the number 2 search engine in the world. Google's number 1. Okay. So when I do a search for dog training Tulsa on YouTube, JT Lawson's videos come up in the search results. And the only other person that comes up consistently is a former client of mine. So there you go. Right. And then if you do a search on Google for dog training Tulsa, okay, dog training Tulsa, we come up top again. And I'm just showing you this because you have to optimize these things. They don't happen by default. So you go back to YouTube and you search for the Make Your Dog Epic YouTube channel and you click on the channel. Okay, so you click on the channel and you go there. I'm on there right now. We had to optimize the header, the name of it, the description, all that kind of stuff. Rihanna, by default, why don't most business owners do this or think about this?
Because they don't realize they have to. They don't realize optimizing their YouTube is going to affect how high up they rank on YouTube. So they don't know.
And
they don't think
if your brain was a container and you only had so much you could put in it, and Love Island, which is a show apparently you guys are talking about, right? If your brain was filled up with Love Island, and then what else goes in there? Sports, what else? Bieber's new album, what's going on? Is he okay? Is he okay? What else? What else?
Anything pop culture.
Anything pop culture.
Yep.
The mayor, is he doing a good job, bad job? The roads, got to fix the roads. The gas station, is the food good? Is it bad? Who's breaking up, who's dating, what's going on, who's getting married. Holy crap. If, you're sending out invitations for your wedding, are you doing calligraphy?
I'm not. No, I designed it all on Canva.
Okay. So you're not going to handwrite these things?
No.
Smart woman. Okay. But there's people that you only have so much time in your mind or so much space in the place. And so what happens is you get your brain full and then you don't have time for this kind of stuff. And so what business coaching does is we look at all of this obsessively. Okay. So the word focus means focus on core tasks until success. Focus on core tasks until success. If you take the sun's rays and you harness them on a given area. You take a magnifying glass and you harness the sun's rays, Robert, on a piece of wood, and you just hold it down there. You get the wood, you get the magnifying glass, and what happens?
You start a fire.
Right. But if you diffuse the light and you're just waving it around, nothing burns. Does that make sense?
Yes.
You feel what I'm saying?
Oh, yeah.
So we got to focus, man. You got to focus, right? So if anybody who's a professional or really good at something, soccer, baseball, gymnastics, sports, they all have a coach. This just in. Anybody who's good at anything has a coach. This just in. Professionals all have coaches. Amateurs do not. Are we on the same page? So what are you doing as a coach? We are pushing you to focus on these things that you don't want to think about. So I just got off the phone call with a household name, great guy. And he is unbelievably successful. And I'm obsessing on these things. And he made the comment right before you guys came in today. He's like, man, I wish sometimes I don't understand why I don't think about these things. Well, I know, because he's thinking about Love Island. He's thinking about wedding invitations. What else is he thinking about? What else can he be thinking about? I don't know. What else is it?
What he's eating for dinner.
Right. And again, I'm not saying this is a good thing or a bad thing. This is all I think about is these things. And most people don't. Okay. But if you have a strength trainer, I hope that all they think about is strength training when they're working with you. I mean, you want someone who's focused, and that's what we're doing here. We're focusing on how to grow a company. Okay. So then we got to build a website. Now there is a process for how to build a website that works. This just in, there's probably a process, a proven path or a proven way for women to wear makeup on the planet Earth in America, probably. There's probably a standard way to wear makeup in India, probably. There's probably a standard way. Well, I remember we DJ'd a bride's wedding back when I had my DJ company, and it's like an Asian wedding thing. And she changed her outfits like 5 or 6 times. And she kept changing the makeup, and she came out with like an all white face with like unbelievable detailed makeup. Then she came back with different gowns. It's like a certain way things are done. And it's like a tradition that makes sense there. But because it was an Asian wedding in Tulsa, Oklahoma, people are like, what is going on? Are we in a cult? Is this okay? Is this a cult? Or traditional Indian weddings, couples from India, they have a different way they do things. They do henna art, et cetera, et cetera. So then people that see it for the first time, it's like overwhelming. It's new. It's foreign. It's not something we can relate to. With a website, there is a way in which people think on the planet Earth, and you have to build the website to work that way. So let's go look at the mechanics. Let's go to makeyourdogepic.com. And people, they want to work off of guesswork. People, what we want to do is we want to work off of guesswork. We want to not have a system, and we want to just randomly try things to see what works. That's how babies learn to walk too, by the way. You just, doing your best. But it's too painful to learn from mistakes. Why, Robert, why is it painful to learn from mistakes if you don't have a mentor? Why is it more expensive to learn from mistakes, dude?
Because you keep making the same ones if you don't have a mentor telling you how to do it differently. You just keep repetitively making the same mistake over and over.
Right. So let's look at Make Your Dog Epic for a moment here. And I'm going to get Giselle on the mic for a second. Okay, I'll get Giselle on the mic. And then Rhiannon, I'm going to have you switch with McKenna real quick because I want to break this down here. So you're looking at the website. The website for makeyourdogepic.com. Hopefully you guys see it right there. At the top of the website, why does it say experience America's highest rated and most reviewed dog trainers? Giselle.
Because that's what it is. America's most highest rated and most reviewed dog trainers.
It's true. It's also hieratic scaling. So hieratic scaling, don't worry about the language, but hieratic scaling just means you put the most important thing first. And the reality is most people are deeply impacted by reviews. Like most people will watch a movie that's terrible, and they'll even try to justify it if it has enough Academy Awards. So if the movie wins awards, even if people hate it, they're like, oh, you just gotta, it's an acquired taste. You gotta watch it for the 7th time. When you really watch Fargo, you'll see it the 8th time. So there's so people are deeply impacted by reviews. Macy, why are people deeply impacted by reviews?
Because we're social creatures.
McKenna, what do you think?
Well, personally, before I buy anything, I look at the reviews always.
Okay. And so and I have clients, some of which want to talk about this for an hour and a half, some of which want to talk about it for 2 seconds. All I'm saying is that's what people do. So that's the most important. Second thing, people are visual. This just in. Most of your people on your website, they want to see something. So you want to have a video, an about us video on the homepage that's going to create a wow. And so, JT, to his credit, he's the official dog trainer for the Savannah Bananas. He's got a couple dog training videos now that have reached over 1 million views. He's the dog trainer of choice for the Tulsa Drillers, Tulsa Oilers. He's got dogs that do things that nobody else's dog can do, so it creates kind of a wow. Why do you want to put a visual wow after the reviews? Why does that have to be right across the top there, Giselle? Why do you have to have a visual wow?
Just support like the reviews and everything. If the reviews are saying great training, like awesome, it's like results and everything, you have to show the results as well.
There it is. Yeah.
And so that's the best way to do it. Is just show what you guys are capable of doing.
Now we're going to switch to colawfitness.com because it's a different industry. Fitness is so different, isn't it, than dog training? I think it is different, but is it? Because I kind of think it's the same, because no matter what industry you're in, it's kind of the same. Home building, doctors, dentists, lawyers. I'm going to pull up mlkdentistry.com as well. I'm just giving you examples of clients, but you go to colawfitness.com, you look at it. They also have the highest rated, most reviewed. It has to be on the website. It has to be true, and it has to be on the website. Again, Macy, why do we have to put that right there on the homepage? It can't be at the bottom. Can't be on page 2, page 7. Why does it have to be on the homepage?
Because it's really important.
Yeah. And by default, we don't think about it. I don't know what it is. And then we have a header video of a lady working out at the gym there. So we have a video of an actual client actually working out at their actual gym. And this is a person who looks like the average person who works out at their average gym. Why is that, McKenna? Why do we have a woman on colawfitness.com that's an actual person that actually works out at the actual gym that looks like their ideal and likely buyer?
Because you're trying to connect with their ideal and likely buyers.
There it is. And so for sake of time, there's a massive multi-page checklist that we have to guide every client through, because if you skip these steps, you're going to create problems. Final area I want to highlight, you have to have testimonials across the horizontal navigation bar. Or if it's on mobile, it's basically accessible within a click. Why do you want to have the testimonials easy to find? Why do you want to be able to, Giselle, get to the testimonial video reviews as fast as possible?
Because those are actual real life result, like people who like experienced it and gave their honest review. So it's like people go to that.
So if you go to thrivetimeshow.com, I have been doing this for 20 years. I have over 2,000 client success stories on video. And so we have Keystone Harbor. It's a harbor. We got a carpet cleaning business, got a window cleaning business, got a janitorial business, got a doctor, got a family medical center, got a custom home business, got a music school, electricity business, online products business, a clinical research laboratory. That's exciting. A plumbing company. I'm just firing them off as I see them. There's so many. And what happens is everyone thinks their business is different, but it's not. It's all the same, which is where we're going to end this idea on today's broadcast. We'll kind of end it here, and then I want to unpack it. Starting a business, there's just 4 steps to starting any business. Any business has 4 steps. There's only 4 steps, and it's not more complicated than that, but I think we want it to be more complicated than that. There's like you could go to college at the University of TU, OSU, ORU, and study business and then get a master's of business and still not know these things. It's wild. You could spend 7 years in college studying this and you won't know this. It's 4 steps. Step 1, you find a problem. So what's the problem that we have that we solve? Let's say, what's the problem that we solve, Macy? If you're a home builder, what's the problem that you solve? If someone's a home builder,
Problem that you solve.
If you're a home builder and you're going, I build houses. I'll pull up Skyridge. I'll pull up skyhousecompany.com. That's one of our clients, skyhousecompany.com, so we can all look at it. What's the problem he solves?
Probably building affordable homes that will last a very long time.
Now, by the way, because you're flying blind, it's a good guess. Now, if you can cheat real quick and look at Giselle's monitor real quick, you should see it. No, it's good. So skyhousecompany.com. Is the website pulled up? You got it up there?
Yes.
Okay. So let's go back to it. What is the problem that he's solving, Macy? What is the problem he's solving? Oh, yeah. Here we go. What is it?
Building a refugee in the mountains?
This guy is building these unbelievable like cabins in the mountains. I mean, it's just unbelievable like mansions. I mean, they're just beautiful. So the problem he's solving is a super rich guy's like, I want an awesome view. So he's creating love. So that's the problem. Okay. Then the solution, you have to find the problem and then solve it. So the solution is he builds a house. So step 1, you got to find the problems. Step 2, you got to solve the problems. Step 3, you have to sell something. You have to sell something. If you don't sell something, your business will go to hell. If you can't sell, it will go to hell. Another way to look at it is your business will fail if you never sell. You have to sell something. And I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's college or if it's high school or if it's culture or if it's the weather. I don't know what it is, but people have an aversion to selling. Why? McKenna, I'll go to you first. Why is it that people, young people, old people, I see old people like, well, my generation, we weren't taught to sell. I see young people, well, I'm more of a relationship guy. I see young people, old people, black people, Asian people, Samoan people, everybody, white guys, white women, black women, and nobody wants to sell. Why is that?
Because they don't want to be pushed to do something. Like personally with sales, like I've come across people who've tried to sell me something that I just don't want, and I don't want to be forced to.
Okay, this is huge. So we'll come right back to this. So again, you find a problem, you solve it, and you sell the solution. So just being real, you find the problem. You want to find a problem for your ideal and likely buyers. So skyhousecompany.com, if he ran around Tulsa trying to sell his services to the people who live near me, he's never going to sell something. You know why? Because he sells cabins in the mountains, and most people who live in Oklahoma don't want to have a cabin in the mountains, right? So you have to find a problem that your ideal and likely buyers have. So elephant in the room, Giselle, if you had to describe who's our ideal and likely buyer for the haircut business, elephant in the room.
A haircut ideal person would probably be someone who works in like a business industry kind of vibe, has to look presentable at least once a month, has to, keep up with his hair, just constantly look presentable.
Macy, what do you think?
I would very much agree with that.
But it's a different demographic than if you're running like supercuts.
Yes.
So they're just different demographics, one of the joys of my life or problems of my life is I choose to, when possible, dress like Adam Sandler, and not because I want to dress like Adam Sandler, just because I just want to not dress up. So occasionally, my wife will go, hey, let's go out to dinner. And I'm thinking, heck, I got to change, because we're going this place. And if I go to Ruth's Chris and I dress like this, but I call it reverse networking, because when you dress like this, no one bothers you. It's awesome. People think this guy's homeless. I'm not sure how he got in here. He probably won't pay for the meal, but we'll leave him alone. But if you dress up sharp, people treat you differently, But Ruth's Chris Steakhouse, a high-end steakhouse, their niche is very different than McDonald's. Are we on the same page? Yes. So, different than Ruth's Chris. So you have to know who your ideal and likely buyers are. So that's okay. So find a problem for your ideal and likely buyers. Step 2, you got to sell the solution. Step 3, step number 2, you have to solve the problem. Step 3, you have to sell the solution. You have to sell the solution. And then step 4, you have to nail it and scale it. And if you had to guess, Rihanna, where do you think most aspiring entrepreneurs in those 4 steps get stuck? The problem, the solution, selling, or nailing and scaling? What do you think the biggest gaping hole is for most business owners?
I would say nailing it and scaling it.
Okay. What do you think, Macy?
I would agree.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. Giselle, what do you think?
I might go with selling.
Selling?
Yeah.
And I'm just going to say this. If I were to work with 100 clients this year, 160 clients this year, I would say 159 of them need more sales when we start. But then after we work with them, because most of our clients are with us for 6 years or longer, then it becomes nailing it and scaling it. So our current portfolio of clients, they need help with systems more than sales. But when people start, they need leads, because you can't succeed without leads. So what we're talking about on today's show, if you're watching today's show, what I want you to do is we're talking about how to start and grow a successful company. That's what we're doing. And so if you're watching today's show and you're going, man, I want to learn more about these subjects. I want to learn how to grow my business. I want to become the next success story. Stay tuned, because on part 2 of today's show, I'm going to introduce you into very normal, regular, great people that have built very successful companies by simply implementing these proven systems. And the way that we can help you here at the Thrivetime shows, we have 3 ways we can help you. One is I have an online school. You can go to thrivetimeshow.com, and for $20 a month, it's $19 a month. We have an online school, and you can basically, for $19 a month to month, you can sign up, you can learn how to start and grow a successful company, and you just go to thrivetimeshow.com, and then when you go there, you just click right there. You click on the business school button, and boom, there it is. Or we have workshops. So we got workshops, in-person workshops. So when you go to thrivetimeshow.com, we have workshops, And these workshops are 2 days. They're interactive. We bring in people like Robert Kiyosaki or the guy who turned around Harley Davidson or Eric Trump or Robert Kiyosaki or Tim Tebow, these kind of people. So that we have the conferences. And then we have business coaching. And the business coaching is $1,700 a month. That's what we charge, 1,700. But we do scholarships to help out people in need. We don't do handouts. We don't do free stuff, but we do a hand up, which means we'll kind of meet you halfway. Rihanna, why do we do scholarships on conference tickets? So someone says, I cannot afford a $250 ticket right now, but I want to come to the conference. Why do we let people name their price? Why do I do that?
Because you want everyone to be able to get to experience that, even if they might be in a tight spot financially.
Yeah, and it's a great way to help people out. It's kind of, it doesn't necessarily make the most mathematical sense. Robert, want to get your thoughts. Online school, $19 a month. Why is it $19 a month? You don't have like a coach, but you also get to come to a conference for free if you are an online subscriber. Why is it $19 a month?
To ensure that people know that they can come without breaking their bank. It's more about them and how willing they are to learn and grow than it is about the money.
Macy, want to get your thoughts. Business coaching. I've been doing the same thing for 20 years. And what I find is most people, they learn these things and they do not apply them unless they have a coach. And I'll switch industries for a second. Fitness. The most physically fit people I know all have trainers. Or they go to like a group class they work out at the same time every day with like a trainer or a class. It's just, that's what they do. The people that I know who are the best at playing instruments, adults that I know who are very good at instruments, they still have recurring music lessons with a coach of some kind. The best athletes have a coach, professional coach. Why is it that the people that are the best have a coach? Why isn't it that people just don't go to the gym and just kill it without a trainer or a class by and large?
It's probably someone to keep you really accountable, and then also just knowledge. You can't rely on your own knowledge always, and having someone who knows how things work and have had it work for other people, it's a good place to start, I would say.
Giselle, why do you think, you played college sports. Why is it that top athletes have a coach?
I think because personally, like, you can push yourself when you're by yourself, but having someone there push you even more and someone who believes in you makes you want to keep going and pushing through rather than just like you by yourself. Knowing that you have someone on your side does really push you.
Okay, now why do you think that having a coach impacts people's success?
I think it has a lot to do with discipline as well as having someone to keep you on track. And again, what Macy said, holding you accountable.
The guy who taught me Matthew chapter 24, I won't mention his name. He's a pastor, megawatt pastor. Everybody knows who he is. He basically yelled at me. Not like yelled at me like he's demeaning, but he's like yelling like he's so frustrated that I don't understand the profundity of Matthew 24. It was the craziest thing ever because my mom was with me. I went to meet this guy and I'm like, hey, I'd really like it if you could show me Matthew 24 and what it means, because you're top pastor guy. I'd love to know. And he says, you don't know what Matthew 24 is? And I go, I don't. And he says, do you not know that Matthew 24 and Luke 21 and Mark 13 are the same thing? And I'm going, I did not know that Mark 13. And I'm going, what was that again? Luke 21. I did not know that Luke 21, Mark 13, and Matthew 24 are the same thing. And he goes, that's Jesus's final sermon, man. Where have you been going to church? And I'm going, well, I went to this church. He's like, are you serious? And he's so aggressive. And he's like, what we're going to do is I'm going to have you read it out loud with a little bit of passion. And then when we finish it, we'll do it. And I go, okay. So I'm reading it. And every time I read a line, he's like, stop. What does that mean? I'm going, I don't know. He's like, how is it possible you're reading something you don't know what it means? Do it again. And we spent like 2 hours on one page of the Bible. And it was the craziest thing ever, but it was a life-changing thing. And I want to ask you this, my final question here. Why is it, Macy, that sometimes the best coaches are not the most pleasant or comfortable? How about that? It's like to get the most out of you, sometimes the coach makes you uncomfortable. Why is that?
They're not there to toot your horn. They're there to make you better, and sometimes that's not always fun.
I think about like my best coaches I had in high school sports, and I'm going, I think all of them, I respected them, but I think all of them I was not necessarily buddy. Like we weren't yucking it up, talking about Love Island. One, because it wasn't a thing yet, but also just, it wasn't like a casual conversation. It was more, intentional. What's your thoughts on that, Giselle? Why is it that the best coaches tend to put some pressure on you?
Because you're not getting better unless you're uncomfortable. I think you have to be uncomfortable to know that you are making progress to get better.
McKenna, what do you think?
I think growth is uncomfortable. If you're comfortable, you're not growing.
There it is. So if you're watching today's show, I want you to stay tuned to part 2 of today's show. Really take notes, because these are clients that have gone through the process. These are active clients we've worked with for years that are having massive success. I'm going to have one success story of a home cleaning business. And then part 3, I'm going to introduce a restaurant, because the principles that work for the restaurant work for the home cleaning business. They will work for you. And so if you feel stuck in any way, take action. Napoleon Hill said that action is the real measure of intelligence. Again, action is the real measure of intelligence. My name is Clay Clark. I encourage you to check it out today. It's thrivetimeshow.com. It's thrivetimeshow.com. If you need a coach, a conference, or the online school, go to thrivetimeshow.com. Do you remember when we first met or connected, or what happened there? You remember that thing?
I do. It was at the other building.
Riverwalk, yeah.
replied to a Facebook ad. You called me. I came over. You talked so fast on the 23-point assessment.
Yeah.
And you said, so what do you think? And I'm like, let's do it.
Now, Karen, this is your first time at the conference, right?
Yes.
First time?
Yes.
How's it going? Is it terrible? I'm sorry. How you doing?
It's great.
Good?
Great.
And we've worked with you guys for a period of years, and you've grown quite a bit. From your perspective as a wife, working your husband-wife team, how has it impacted you, what we do here, you guys, just so they can hear, because you've gone through the process?
I got to think about this a minute.
I can say.
Go ahead.
Can I speak for you? You can try. I will say.
Can I speak for you?
I will say that she has told me several times, since you have signed up with Thrivetime and Clay, you're a completely different business owner. You're a completely different man, a completely different person. And so you do not have my permission to ever leave Clay. So that's.
Let's let Karen can share the truth. Karen will be like, you're different in a bad way.
No,
Things have gone wrong.
It changed the whole, everything that we thought our business was is completely different now since he has started coming here. His whole mindset changed. His whole mindset changed about the company. His whole mindset changed with us. Everything changed. Just like something clicked, and he was excited about the business again. And it's been amazing. And at first I was like, we're spending what? A month on this? And now I wouldn't change it ever. I hope he stays and keeps coming as long as we keep the business.
And you guys, this is your first time coming to a conference.
Yes, it is.
How's it going?
You'll never not know my name, that's for sure. And Karen's a pretty good name.
Yeah. We got to rebrand it. We're working on it.
Yeah, thanks.
Yeah. We're going to really take Carl and make it negative. We'll make Karen good. Okay. But it's been a good thing for you guys?
It's been amazing. It's been an amazing, amazing ride.
And so when we're meeting with you, though, we have our weekly meetings. And in that meeting, Andrew is working with you. And having someone that's just focused on you and your business and getting through your problems, that's why you have a calendar, because you want to block out time for what matters. And then that means saying no to other stuff. Can you talk about that, Kevin, just blocking out that time to work on your business? Thank you. Let's hear for Karen, by the way. Let's hear for Karen. Thank you, Karen. Thank you. You keep her up here. Okay, yeah. What's it like blocking out time?
Blocking out time for the weekly meeting?
Yeah, just blocking out time to work on your business.
Yeah, there's a lot of times when I'm at the office, because I speak so highly of Clay and everything I'm going through, there's several people in the office that will ask me, hey, Kevin, are you working in the business? Or are you working on the business right now? And that's my sales team, my general manager, and they try to keep me accountable. And so I'm like, I'm working in the business, Arna. And they're like, yes, you're working in the business, and you need to stop, because that's our job. You need to work on the business. So sometimes I just get away, go to Panera for 4 or 5 hours, and I work on the business.
Which Panera do you go to?
Panera on Memorial.
Vanessa can vouch for this. There was a time in my life we had one car because we sold the car because we couldn't afford to get our business going. So we sold the Acclaim. It was the white Acclaim, and we had a Mazda MPV with 200,000 miles on it. And so I had multiple. And so it was when I went full time for the DJ business. So Vanessa would be working at Office Depot, and then she worked at ORU, and she would drop me off at Panera Bread at like 6 a.m. And the manager there, his name was Fareed Hussein, who now sells mortgages. And I would walk in because they would open up at, I think it was at 6 at the time, and Freed would go, "The DJ has entered the building," on the mic, because I wouldn't leave till like 8 o'clock because that was my office, was Panera. And his evil boss, Sherry, who I'm sure she's a great lady, Sherry was like, "You have to buy something, sir." And I'm going, "Fine, Sherry." So every hour I would buy something, and I would stay there for the whole day, but I needed a different environment. And why I'm hammering this is you say you go to Panera. We've never talked about that, but you need a different environment to get out of the daily. Why? Why do you need a different environment? I needed a different environment. Why did you need a different environment too?
I know that if I'm in my office, everybody wants, "Hey, can I have just a minute?"
Just a quick minute.
Can I have just a minute? Hey, can I run something by you? And when I go to Panera, and I usually will buy a tea.
Oh, yeah.
And I make sure I set it out so they see it.
They know you're not just loitering.
And I sit there, and it's amazing. I have my laptop, my phone, and it's amazing what I can get done when I'm away from the office.
And you got, again, Kevin now has 350 plus employees. He and his wife have 350 plus employees. I mean, it's a big thing now. Stairs, next question. I'm going to keep you up here for just a second. Next question.
Next question, Clay. We answered this just a moment ago, but I wanted to say it again. Who can I trust for product inventions? And what about patents?
Well, what you'll want to do, again, is read the Inventor's Guidebook by Maurice Kanbar, okay? And you want to make a prototype. Now, Greg, there are things that you can make that people don't want to buy and things you can make that people do want to buy. Right now, what are the things, if people look you up right now, let's go to do a Google search for glue and, let's do a search for Tulsa wood floors and more. That's where you're at. Tulsa wood floors and more. That's your Google map. Tulsa wood floors and more. We'll pull it up real quick, Sean. What are the things that people want to buy from you right now?
Mostly wood flooring, solid wood flooring.
Why?
Or LVP. It's just a very popular thing right now.
What are things they don't want to buy from you, but you would like to make?
Candlestick holders.
I'm seriously, what are things that you like to do, but no one asks for it?
I like to make stuff like this furniture and things like that, but it's not.
Which furniture here did you make?
I made about 10 of these tables in.
So you made this table?
Yes.
You made this table?
Yes.
Which other table did you make?
The one down at the end.
That table at the end. You made the tables? Look at this. He loves these tables.
Third row of tables.
Yeah. So you made the tables?
Yes.
So we were talking about tables. I'm like, well, dude, I'll take 10 tables. Let's do
chairs.
that.
I made all the chairs outside.
You made all the chairs outside. Okay. So again, I'm saying this because if you have a product, you need to make it first, and then you got a prototype. Then you want to sell it. And the idea that someone's going to steal your idea really doesn't matter. Nor does it matter if someone steals your idea if you're not selling anything. So you want to sell something and then use the profits from the thing to file for the patent pending. But don't get the patent pending before you try to sell it. Are we on the same page? Who cares if they steal your idea? Because most ideas aren't acted upon. They're just worthless. Next. That urinal, by the way, that urinal's a little bit of a sprayer. A little bit of a spray. Who's experienced that urinal? You got to run away from that thing. You flush that thing and you got to run. But it's a beer keg. It's a beer. I'm always interested. By the way, there's a urinal I'm working on getting right now, and I haven't found it yet. Stairs, have I talked to you about the P game?
Yes, you have.
Sean, will you pull up the P game?
Wasn't it at a restaurant?
Bird, remember me talking about the P game? Pastor Brian is a client of ours. He invites me to Amarillo, Texas. He says, you need to come to our church. And I said, super great. He goes, dude, you're going to love this restaurant. So we go to the restaurant, and I think they had quail and other things, and Vanessa would not eat anything on the menu. You remember this? We're in Amarillo, and Pastor Brian is like, you're going to love this restaurant, dude. It's awesome. And I know my wife. She's a kind of a foodie, kind of a picky person. The carrots can't touch the meat kind of a person, you know. And so we're there, and Brian's like, dude, this restaurant. And have you been to Charleston's? You guys go to Charleston's?
Yes.
Do you remember the place in Tulsa that was like the Hound, the Fox and the Hound?
Yes, 71st and Garnett.
Fox and the Hound isn't around, so I can speak about it. It wasn't super great. It wasn't terrible, but it was okay. Picture in your mind an okay restaurant, okay? But this place is packed on a Sunday. And Pastor Brian says, dude, you're going to love this restaurant. So we go there, and I'm trying to figure out, why is this place packed? The food's not that great. The decor's not that awesome. But there's an energy in here that feels like we're watching the Super Bowl. And he says, have you gone to the bathroom yet? You know, like your grandma asks you, have you gone yet? And I'm going, Brian, I'm a 35-year-old man. I don't even go to the bathroom. He's like, have you gone yet? Have you gone? I go, I haven't gone. He keeps asking me, and I'm like, fine, I'll go to the bathroom. If that's what makes you stop asking, I'll go. So I go to the bathroom, and there's dudes at the urinal going, dude, you can do it. You can do it. Because it's a urine-activated Galaga. And you can only shoot if you're urinating. And so the move is you go this. It was located next to a Catholic church. So guys finish church and they drink beer until now I get the game. So people are at the bar pounding beer and they have to pee, but they're not going to go because they don't want to waste their shots. And so and then you go in there and whoever sets the record gets their meal free. Oh my God. And it's something people do every day.
When I first started coming here, I got so frustrated because in the urinal was a little soccer net and a soccer ball.
Careful.
And I could get the ball in the net, but I want to know how to get it out.
Okay, so
Because there's only one
This is the
way.
technology. They for some reason they don't sell it anymore. This is the company. Crank it up, Sean.
After a bar in London installed urine-controlled video games above their urinals. Bladder controllers make for a hands-free experience, and visitors to the bar are tested on the accuracy of their aim. Never has Nintendo Wii sounded more apt, and the bar's owner Drew
Nintendo
Redhead
Wii.
says he's looking forward to
And they had like a tank game. They had a tank.
Hands-free
They
experience.
had a tank game and they had a skiing game. And I'm like, I need that, but I can't find it. So just so you know, on my Christmas list, I'm trying to get that for the bathroom because I think it's going to change the energy in here when you guys come out feeling like winners and no one can relate to you. The women are like, why is this guy winning? You go in kind of depressed, you come out a winner, and then no one will know except for me what happened in there. So that's what I'm trying to buy, but right now they're sold out or they're out of business or some stupid story, but it will not be stopped. Also, the Blockbuster sign. Do you guys see the Blockbuster sign? That was another thing we needed to get. We got it. Okay, Stairs, next one.
Good deal. Clay, let's see. I've got a podcast and a startup. They are not related to each other at all.
Yeah.
Let's see. Started the podcast 7 months ago. How do I grow the podcast while also aim to grow my startup?
Let's talk about the podcast first. Who asked that question? Podcast? Hello, can you come up here real quick here? And I'm going to pick on you and you for the same idea. And then maybe your wife can chime in for what really happened. When you started MultiClean, when was that?
93.
Were you guys together at the time?
No.
No? And so when you met this guy, were you like, man, this guy's the janitor king, I want to marry this guy? Or how did that?
He was a customer at the bank that I managed.
He was a customer at the bank.
Mhm.
And you knew he ran this business.
Yeah, and I checked out the accounts to see exactly what
No.
Oh, yeah.
He's smooth. So that's how that works.
Okay. And so this is real though. So you had this idea, and when did you and your mind, Kevin, say this is a real business?
Well, my original goal, I knew that if I can say I made it, my goal was 5 employees. And
Okay.
I knew that if I get to 5, that's it, I'm done.
My name is Kevin Thomas, and the name of our company is MultiClean. We are a commercial janitorial service, and we serve the entire state of Oklahoma and Kansas and soon to be Arkansas. We have probably grown probably 5 times. I think when we first started with you, we had 60 to 65 employees, and now we have a little over 300 employees. Before we got involved with Thrivetime, we didn't really have any systems or processes in place. So I've probably been to, in 6-7 years, I've probably been to 12 to 13 business conferences, and amazingly, each time I go, I learn something new, and I'm so excited to bring it back and show the team about marketing and how to implement.
Okay, Aaron Antis, September 25th and 26th. Guess who's coming back to Tulsa? I will give you a hint. His first name is Eric, and his last name is Trump. Whoa. And his father is the 47th president of these United States. Yes, Eric Trump is joining us once again here September 25th and 26th in Tulsa, Oklahoma for the 2-day interactive Thrivetime Show Business Growth Workshop. But Eric Trump is bringing friends. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, Alina Haba will be joining Eric Trump right here in Tulsa, Oklahoma. Amanda Grace will be in the place. Dr. Stella Emanuel will be here in T-Town in Tulsa, Oklahoma. Oklahoma. Julie Green will be on the scene. Mel K will be here to say hey. Dave Scarlett from the His Glory team will be here. It's going to be a blasty blast right here in Tulsa, Oklahoma. If you want to start or grow a super successful company, if you want to make your wallet great again or make your wallet great for the first time, if you want to learn marketing, systems, scaling, human resources, accounting, social media, branding, search engine optimization, sales training, financial management, and more, get your tickets right now at thrivetimeshow.com. Once again, that's thrivetimeshow.com. Well, people don't know this, but the Trump organization has thousands of employees. There's not 50 employees. The Trump organization, again, most people don't know this, but the Trump organization has thousands of employees. And while Donald J. Trump was the 45th president of these United States, he needed a competent man to run and execute his business plans. Showtime! So the man that runs the Trump organization for Donald J. Trump, as he was the 45th president of the United States and now the 47th president of the United States, is Eric Trump. And so Eric Trump is here to talk about time management, promoting from within, marketing, branding, quality control, sales systems, workflow design, workflow mapping, how to build. I mean, everything that you see, the Trump hotels, the Trump golf courses, all their products, the man who manages billions of dollars of real estate and thousands of employees is here to teach us how to do it.
You are talking about one of the greatest brands on the planet from a business standpoint.
Right.
I mean, who else has been able to create a brand like the Trump brand? I mean, look at it. And this is the man behind the business for the last pretty much since 2015. He's been the man behind it. So you're talking, we're into 9 going into 10 years of him running it, and we get to tap into that knowledge. That's going to be amazing.
Now, think about this for a second.
But that Clay Clark, man, he is one character.
It's a good word for him, character. Yeah, that is it.
Good, driven, smart. And I've never met a guy who was so hyper all the time. He's doing so much good. And then I met his mother, and she just says, she just lets him be Clay Clark. I mean, so he's endorsed by his mother, and he's doing magnificent work. So it was great meeting you out there and all the people that he surrounds himself with. Clay Clark starts his days at 5 o'clock in the morning.
Oh, it's incredible. Yeah, he's a machine. He's a machine.
Yeah. But I have problems with my company starting at 9 o'clock. Yes, hundreds of people showing up at 5 a.m. in Tulsa, Oklahoma. Man, he's a leader of a leader. He's a fantastic young man.
No, he is.
The lineup continues to grow, and this is how we do our tickets here at the Thrivetime Show. If you want to get a VIP ticket, you can absolutely do it. It's $500 for a VIP ticket. We've always done it that way. Now, if you want to take a general admission ticket, it's $250 or whatever price you want to pay. And the reason why I do that, and the reason why we do that is because we want to make our events affordable for everybody. I grew up without money. I totally understand what it's like to be in a tight spot. So if you want to attend, it's $250 or whatever price you want to pay. That's how I do it. And it's $500 for a VIP ticket. Now, we only have limited seating here. With the most people we've ever had in this building was for the Jim Brewer presentation. Jim Brewer came here, the legendary comedian Jim Brewer came to Tulsa, and we had 419 people that were here. 419 people.
Yeah.
And I thought to myself, there's no more room. I felt kind of bad that a couple people had VIP seats in the men's restroom. Oh, no, I'm just kidding. But I thought, you know what? We should probably add on.
Clay Clark is here somewhere. Where's my buddy Clay? Clay's the greatest. I met his goats today. I met his dogs. I met his chickens. I saw his compound. He's like the greatest guy.
I ran from his goats, his chickens, his dogs.
So this guy's like the greatest marketer you've ever seen, right? His entire life, Clay Clark, his entire life is marketing.
So again, if you want to get tickets for this event, all you have to do is go to thrivetimeshow.com. Go to thrivetimeshow.com. When you go to thrivetimeshow.com, you'll go there, you'll request a ticket, boom. Or if you want to text me, if you want a little bit faster service, you say, I want you to call me right now. Just text my number. It's my cell phone number, my personal cell phone number. We'll keep that private between you, me, everybody. We'll keep that private. And anybody. Don't share that with anybody except for everybody. That's my private cell phone number. It's 918-851-0102. 918-851-0102. I know we have a lot of Spanish-speaking people that attend these conferences, and so to be bilingually sensitive, my cell phone number is 918-851-0102. 02.
That is not actually bilingual. That's just saying Juan for a one. It's not the same thing.
I think you're attacking me. Now, let's talk about this. Now, what kind of stuff will you learn at the Thrivetime Show workshop? So, Aaron, you've been to many of these over the past 7-8 years. So let's talk about it. I'll tee up the thing, and then you tell me what you're going to learn here, okay?
Okay.
You're going to learn marketing and branding. What are we going to learn about marketing and branding?
Oh, yeah. We're going to dive into, so many people say, I got to get my brand known out there, like the Trump brand, right? You want to get that brand out there. It's like, how do I actually make people know what my business is and make it a household name? You're going to learn some intricacies of how you can do that.
You're going to learn sales. So many people struggle to sell something. This just in, your business will go to hell if you can't sell. So we're going to teach you sales. We're going to teach you search engine optimization, how to come up top in the search engine results. We're going to teach you how to manage people. Aaron, you have managed, no exaggeration, hundreds of people throughout your career and thousands of contractors. And most people struggle with managing people. Why does everybody have to learn how to manage people?
Well, because first of all, you either have great people or you have people who suck. And so it can be a challenge. Learning how to work with a large group of people and get everybody pulling in the same direction can be a challenge. But if you have the right systems, you have the right processes, and you're really good at selecting great ones, and we have a process we teach about how to find great people. When you start with the people who have a great attitude, they're teachable, they're driven, all of those things, then, you can get those people all pulling in the same direction.
So we're going to teach you branding, marketing, sales, search engine optimization. We're going to teach you accounting. We're going to teach you personal finance, how to manage your finance. We're going to teach you time management. How do you manage your time? How do you get more done during a typical day? How do you build an organization if you're not organized? How do you do organization? How do you build an org chart? Everything that you need to know to start and grow a business will be taught during this 2-day interactive business workshop. Now, let me tell you how the format is set up here. And again, folks, this is a 2-day interactive 15. Think about this, folks. It's 2 days. Each day it starts at 7 a.m. and it goes until 5 p.m. So from 7 a.m. to 5 p.m., 2 days. It's a 2-day interactive workshop. The way we do it is we do a 30-minute teaching session, and then we break for 15 minutes for a question and answer session. So, Aaron, what kind of great stuff happens during that 15-minute question and answer session after every teaching session?
I actually think it's the best part about the workshops, because here's what happens. I've been to lots of these things over the years. I've paid many thousands of dollars to go to them. And you go in there and they talk in vague generalities, and they're constantly upselling you for something, trying to get you to buy this thing or that thing or this program or this membership. And you leave not getting your very specific questions answered about your business or your employees or what you're doing on your marketing. And what's awesome about this is we literally answer every single question that any person asks, and it's very specific to what your business is.
And what we do is we allow you as the attendee to write your questions on the whiteboard. And then we literally, as you mentioned, we answer every single question on the whiteboard. And then we take a 15-minute break to stretch and to make it entertaining when you're stretching. This is a true story. When you get up and stretch, you'll be greeted by mariachis. There's going to probably be alpaca here, llamas, helicopter rides, a coffee bar, a snow cone. There's just...
You had a crocodile one time. That was pretty interesting.
I should write that down and actually do that.
Sorry for that one guy that we lost.
The crocodile, we duct taped its face so that we duct taped.
No, it was a baby crocodile.
And it was duct tape.
Yeah, duct tape around the mouth so it didn't bite anybody. But it was really cool passing that thing around and
I should do that. We have a small petting zoo that will be assembled. It's going to be great. And then you're in the company of hundreds of entrepreneurs. So there's not a lot of people in America today. In fact, there's less than 10 million people today, according to U.S. Debt Clock, that identify as being self-employed. So if you have a country with 350 million people, that means you have less than 3% of our population that's even self-employed. So you only have 3 out of every 100 people in America that are self-employed to begin with. And when Inc. magazine reports that 96% of businesses fail by default, You have a 1 out of 1,000 chance of succeeding in the game of business. But yet the average client that you and I work with, we can typically double this. And this is no hyperbole, no exaggeration. And I have thousands of testimonials to back this up. We have thousands of testimonials to back it up. But when you work with a home builder, when I work with a business owner, we can typically double the size of the company within 24 months.
Yeah.
Double. And you say double? Yeah, there's businesses that we have tripled. There's businesses we've grown 8x. There's so many examples you can see at thrivetimeshow.com. But again, this is the most interactive, best business workshop on the planet. This is objectively the highest rated and most reviewed business workshop on the planet.
I was looking to learn how to take my business, like they've said today, from being very successful to being systematic. I've got a very successful practice in 3 different cities, make good money. Just want to take it to the next level with systems and processes to where I can drive my cars more.
Paul Hood.
I have been a CPA for 33 years.
And what kind of growth have you and your great team had here over the past, let's say, 5-6 years?
For the last 5, when I met you 5 years ago, we were doing 3 million. This year we'll do 24 million.
Whoa. And you say, Clay, I'm not going to get a ticket unless you give me more. Okay, fine. We're going to serve you the same meal both days. True story. We cater in the food, and because I keep it simple, I literally bring in the same food both days for lunch. It's Ted Escondido's, an incredible Mexican restaurant. That's going to happen. And Jill Donovan, our good friend, who is the founder of Rustic Cuff. She started that company in her home, and now she sells millions of dollars of apparel and products. That's rusticcuff.com. And someone says, I want more. This is not enough.
Give me more.
Okay. I'm not going to mention their names right now because I'm working on it behind the scenes here. But we've got one guy who's given me a verbal to be here. And this is a guy who's one of the wealthiest people in Oklahoma, and nobody really knows who he is because he's built systems that are very utilitarian, that offer a lot of value. He's made a lot of money in the it's where you rent. It's short term. It's where you're renting storage spaces. He's a storage space guy. He owns the what do you call that? The rental,
a storage space.
Storage units. This guy owns storage units. He owns railroad cars. He owns a lot of assets that make money on a daily basis, but they're not like customer facing. Most people don't know who owns the mini storage facility, or most people don't know who owns the warehouse that's passively making money. Most people don't know who owns the railroad cars, but this guy, he's given me a verbal that he will be here, and we just continue to add more and more success stories. So if you're out there today and you want to change your life, you want to give yourself an incredible gift, you want a life-changing experience, you want to learn how to start and grow a company, go to thrivetimeshow.com. Go there right now, thrivetimeshow.com. Request a ticket for the 2-day interactive event.
Hey, how's it going? I'm Thomas Crossan, owner and founder of Full Package Media in Dallas, Texas. I've been a coaching client with Clay Clark since the beginning of our business. We started about a year ago, August of last year. I had no clients, no idea what we were doing, no clue really what was going on. And now we've grown to where we've got 6 photographers, we've got office space here. I have an admin, sales person that works for us full time, developing an online system. And a lot of that growth we attribute to Clay helping us. And there's so many things that, his stuff is not, revolutionary. It's not this crazy walk on hot coals and all this stuff. It's just real stuff.
It's going to be a blasty blast. There's no upsells. Aaron, I could not be more excited about this event.
I think it is incredible. And there's somebody out there right now, you're watching and you're like, but I already signed up for this incredible other program called Smoke Your Way to Thin. I think that's going to change your life. I promise you this will be 10 times better than that.
It's like I picked the wrong week to quit smoking.
Don't do the Smoke Your Way to Thin conference. That is, I've tried it. Don't do it.
Yeah, chain smoking is not a viable. It is life-changing. It is life-changing. If you become a chain smoker, it is life-changing.
Not the best weight loss program, though.
Right, really. So if you're looking to have life-changing results in a way that won't cause you to have a stoma, get your tickets at thrivetimeshow.com. Again, that's Aaron Antis. I'm Clay Clark, and reminding you and inviting you to come out to the 2-day interactive Thrive Time Show workshop right here in Tulsa, Oklahoma. I promise you it will be a life-changing experience. We can't wait to see you right here in Tulsa, Oklahoma. What kind of growth have you had since you and I have been working together over these past few years?
3.45 million. I got those stats before I got on here.
So you've grown by 3.45 million.
Yeah, 3,450,000.
Would that be like if you took the combined revenue, maybe doubled it? Have we gone up by
about almost 3, not quite.